Hi, welcome back. It's Neil, and today I have a cooking video. I'm going to try cooking tapa in a Traeger pellet grill. Tapa is a Filipino dish which is made by drying out beef and then frying it in oil. This was a dish that my parents used to make often for us when we were young. Typically, they would make it by slicing thin slices of beef and putting it in a tapa dryer, which was basically a wood frame with screens, and they would set it out in the sun to dry. Later on, they started using a device like this, which is basically a food dehydrator or a jerky maker. But it occurred to me that I have a Traeger pellet grill, and smoking is also another method of drying out meats. So I'm gonna attempt to try to do that today, and we'll see how it does. Since you're gonna be slicing the beef thin and drying it out, you don't really need a good cut of meat. I, however, like to have a little bit of fatty pieces in there because once you fry up the fatty pieces, it turns out to be really good. So what I got here is my prime rib. So first thing I'm gonna do is slice it up into manageable pieces. Gonna cut it in half this way. That way each one of my pieces is gonna be about that big. Nice pieces. And I like a little bit of fat on it because it's going to be delicious once it's dried and it's fried up. They don't have to be perfect, you just do your best. Like a little bit of fat on each one. Ooh, that's going to be a crazy piece right there. Now that we got the meat all cut up, what we need to do now is season it. What we used and what I grew up with was a dry seasoning. I think it was comprised of garlic salt, pepper, more salt, sugar, and I know my dad used to like to cook with a lot of MSG, so that was accent. Today I'm going to use a basic garlic and pepper seasoning. It pretty much has all the same ingredients: salt, sugar, garlic, black pepper, and tricalcium phosphate to make free flowing, whatever that is. So I've seen other recipes where it's a different mix of ingredients, like wet ingredients like soy sauce and probably some vinegar, some other kind of wet seasonings. The way I grew up was a dry seasoning. So what I'm gonna do is now lay all these pieces and season both sides with the dry seasoning. Now that we have the meat seasoned, it's time to throw it on the smoker. First thing we do is make sure the hopper is filled with the wood pellets. Then we set it to smoke. Once it starts to smoke, we put everything back together and we set it to the temperature that we want to cook at. In my case, I think I'm going to set it at about 225, and I'm going to start by cooking each of the pieces for about 30 minutes. Keep in mind, this is the first time that I'm doing it, so this is kind of an experiment. But it should work. It should come out really good. First batch is on. We're gonna let that sit for about 30 minutes. All right, let's take a quick look at the tapa after about 25 minutes at 225. Of course, the temperature drops a little once you get out and cooking. Hopper's looking good. Still a little bit wet. Let's give it about 15 more minutes. Check it again. All right, so I just pulled the first batch and it looks pretty friggin' good. I mean, as you can see, the color changed. Oh, this looks really good. It smells good. Smells really good. Okay, so the tapa's done. I basically cooked it for about 225 for 45 minutes for each batch. I did 2 batches. All that's left now is to fry some up and try it. With the rest, I'm gonna pack it away, put it in the freezer, and it makes easy cooking for whenever anyone is in the mood for tapa, especially our kids. It's easy just to pull it from the freezer, already frozen, you just throw it in a pan, cook it for a couple minutes, and it's ready to go. So let's give it a shot.
This is how we eat it, complete with a side of spicy vinegar. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a try. First thing you do is you break that yolk on the egg so that it runs on your rice like a juice or a sauce. There we go. Take this, dip it in the vinegar. It tastes like childhood tapa to me. Let's get the perfect bite ready. Some egg, some rice, and some tapa. Comfort food. Well, that's it. I think we did it. I think this is 100% a success. Tapa dried in the Traeger pellet grill. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna finish this plate. Bye.